The winds have shifted in Alethi. Once Kholinar shone, a beacon of pride and glory. Now its towers groan beneath the weight of despair. Its people whisper of shadows moving in the rain, of oaths long broken beneath the thunder's roar. 4 souls drawn together, bound by threads unseen. An investigator chasing truth through a city drowning in secrets. A thief, mercenary by name, but fierce of heart, determined to save the home that scorns them. A fabric cloaked in falsehood, shaping light and metal, seeking to forge a better tomorrow before the storm consumes the present. The Vorin woman, staring defiance into the eyes of destiny, striving to become more than her world dares to allow. The city trembles. Cults, old and forgotten, whisper beneath the weeping stone. And from the tempest comes a call for those who would speak the last ideal.
Hello, everyone. It is us, the cast of The Last Ideal, and me, Story Dad. How's it going? How's it hanging? We're here tonight with a little bit of a special episode. Rather than come at you with more of the plot progression that we've been witnessing, we do something a little special around here. Something that's kind of flavorful as to the actual Cosmere line of novels, the Stormlight Archives in particular, and that is interludes. If you're unfamiliar with what an interlude is, that is a stepping outside of the present narrative to walk back into the past of our group, of our party. That can be scenes of trauma or triumph, of connection or learning from any time in the past. But could it be then from when they were children, from when they were adolescents, from when they were young adults, just growing into the capable individuals that they are in our present day? And so it can happen. It can happen at any point, whether that be together with the other cast members or solo. Complete toss-up. These are discussed beforehand, and we launch into them. And so tonight, you're going to get a window. You're going to get a window into a few of our characters. So, that being said, where we are going to start this evening is actually with Feraniel. So, we travel back a few years into Feraniel's past. This is at a point when Feraniel had been very much entrenched in the military, but not in a long-term way. You were serving underneath a different captain, someone important to your past. You were an up-and-comer. You had received accolades for your accomplishments, and where we are joining you is we are at the border between Yakaved and Alethkar, a geographic hotspot where border disputes between high princes over territory, over mineral rights, over verdant landscapes, over old cultural divides. That's where these things take place. It's where, to some, you would say that it is the place where young men go to prove themselves, to make good on, on their culture, on their bloodlines, to show that they are next in line for that grand military tradition of their family's history. And to others, we may look at this as a place where light eyes get to play God with the lives of people that they deem to be lesser, where people are treated not unlike chaff or cattle to be used for the progression of the Alethi war machine. But regardless on where you sit in that camp of thought, where we join Feraniel is you are in a forward operating base tent. A well-appointed, light eyes endeavor, a place with plush carpets that are laid out, hot stoves that have been put inside of these large canvas tents that have been spiked into the stone, all clear of creme or shale bark or any of the other things that may accumulate on the exterior of lesser important individuals. You are in the tent of Captain Bakarin. A table has been set up in the middle of this tent, and atop that table has been pinned a sort of vellum map with small figurines carved out of cremestone that represent different maneuvering armies. And Feraniel, you look at a glance at the map, it being the first thing that sort of draws your eye in this room, and you see something that immediately lights your face up, which is that it's very clear that the logistic points that you had given to Captain Bakarin had bore fruit in a very meaningful way. They had won the day, and you see those lines of reinforcements and standing armies having progressed up this border and having taken a town that used to be Yakaved's. There's 4 individuals that stand in this room besides yourself. There is Captain Bakarin standing on one side of the table. There is a sub-lieutenant, an altern to Bakarin himself, who goes by, I believe you gave me the name a little bit earlier. But if no, sorry, different individual. I will let me check my notes very quickly. Gidavar, subaltern Gidavar, is standing to the side of Captain Bakarin, and the other 2 are, one, a logistician like yourself, a woman, safe hand on, wearing a hava, and covered head to toe in the Alethi blues, And the fourth person is someone of a little bit of mystery to you. They are an Ardent, but it seems as if this Ardent is a sword master, one that had been brought in for reasons a little bit unknown to you, but seems to be someone that Captain Bakarin holds very close as an advisor. An individual that largely goes unnamed, as Captain Bakarin has taken this person and essentially, like most Ardents, are treated a little bit more like a possession than as an individual. They are used almost like an accoutrement. Like they are they're almost like a seasoning that you bring into the room. So Captain Bakarin, this sort of rugged, handsome individual standing at the end of the table. His hand is resting on his sword, and he's looking at this new progressed battle map, and he turns to you.
Well, Chronicle, I must admit, while, yes, it was questionable whether or not to take the eastern flank, and that it was very dicey as we were playing a game of chance with the oncoming of the high storm, yes, we won the day. We have taken the village of Philin. Yakoved has one less pastoral community to feed their armies, and in no uncertain terms, it is at the expertise of yourself that we have won this. I would be lying if I said it was the maneuver that I would have suggested. And Gidavar here, and he turns to him. You fought tooth and nail in order to undermine this, and there are 15 good men dead because you decided tactics, logistics, troop movements are calculable. These are not mysteries. The human element can be considered. Do not get me wrong. And then he lays a hand on Gidavar's shoulder. It is individuals like the Blackthorn. It is individuals like High Prince Sadius. It is shard plate covered warriors of legend, the Sunmaker himself, that will turn battles in the way that you wanted to today, but you wear steel. And you wield steel. You are not as special as you think you are, and men died for it. Gidavar looks him in the eye. If we would have simply listened to me at the onset, I would have been able to run through their lieutenant, and our cavalry would have stomped them low. Gidavar, if we would have listened to Ferroniel's orders to the letter, and you would not have charged that line, none of you would have died. Not a man. Ferroniel.
Yes, sir?
When you took into account all of the effort and all of the blood, sweat, and tears that these men could bring to muster, and the places where they would be
committed to on this battlefield? Did you think for 1 second that there should be an unmitigated risk that we should throw men at an unclaimed line of our enemies in order to grasp at glory? Or did you think in your mind that safety, prudence, and solid, disciplined tactics would win the day? Was it glory and cocksure, ridiculous notions of self-importance that would win the day? Or was it the mustered, well-trained, oiled machine of the Alethi war effort that would win the day?
Fira is going to keep her eyes down and her hands folded and her posture's fully perfect, standing up straight, and respond. We calculate the strategy ahead of time to try to reduce those unmitigated risks, sir.
It very much seems as if this is a clinic being put on by Bakaran to prove something to Gidavar. And he looks to you and he says, "Ah, I see. So when you calculate things and you mark down the numbers and you have read all of the history reports and you studied the geography of the battlefield and you looked at the very specific skill sets of our entire troop, those are the things that you took into account."
Yes, sir.
"Ah, I see." And then he turns back to Gidavar. "So." He leans in. "Men died today. I will send 15 letters to 15 families about the blood that you decided to shed today. You took their lives in your hands. And now you are going to have to live with that fact for the rest of your life. And I would like you to remember that the next time that you ramble off, that the orders of a woman are the makings of someone who does not have a leash on their emotions. So please, Gidavar, leave my tent." Gidavar sputters, looks up to Bakaran. You... She won us a battle, but she's going to lose us the war. There's no women generals, and I think you know why. Bakaran looks to him and says, "I asked you to leave my tent." And Gidavar spins around on a heel, gives a terse stomp, and then storms out of the tent. "Well, what an unpleasant little weasel of a man."
Fira sits in the silence. She's feeling like heat in her face right now. She's definitely feeling a little bit embarrassed, and like a tightening sense of the room closing in on her a little bit.
Are you feeling pressure? Bakaran looks up and down the lines of your body language and seems to all but read an aura of anxious energy flowing heatedly out of you.
She's gonna hesitate before she says, "Yes, sir."
I think there is something to be said about feeling more pressure and more anxiety about standing in a room while I admonish a man for leading young men to death than you feel moving around hundreds of men to destroy our enemies and send, unfortunately, other men to death. I think if there's something to reflect on here, it's that you deserve to be big in a room full of the small. And Gidavar is small.
That's kind of you to say, sir. And congratulations on the win today.
I will accept the congratulations, but I will not accept that this was a kindness. A kindness would be to send you back to whatever village that you came from to live a pastoral life on the back lines of these conflicts that we fight. A kindness would be to take you away and disaffect you from making decisions that shed blood. It wasn't kind. It's just the truth. Capable individuals should feel confident in the things that they do and the things that they say. And you have excellent role models. The world is changing, Veroniel, whether we want it to or not. And taking up space is not going to be a sin for very much longer.
She lets a little smile escape, even though she's trying to remain composed. She just nods.
Well, not to make this a little bit more dour, but I have men to kill tomorrow. And so I am going to go and I am going to drink, and I am going to eat, and I am going to go and congratulate men for things that should not be congratulated. And I encourage you to get some rest, for lack of sleep can make a person sloppy.
I do have reports to finish before I can rest, though.
Well, I won't distract you from your work, but I will say that get rest. Please.
Will do. Enjoy your evening, sir.
Of course. Bakaran turns to the other individual in the room. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. It is... And as you're walking out of the tent, you sort of hear this back and forth between Bakaran and this mystery individual. That's what I'm talking about. That Gidavar is the worst man that I have met in many weeks. And Veroniel is probably the most capable person that I've had in my camp in a long time. Saved lives, is competent, has a brain. And has studied things that people have not in many, many years. She essentially, I bet she could pick out the fingerprint structure of the Sunmaker if you showed her it on a blade. Like, it's savant. But, and then you hear whispered, and as you keep moving out, but I swear she's going to get herself killed. She's way too smart for her own good, and there's a lot of very small men in this camp. And then you hit, I presume, your tent, or where does Veroniel go in this forward operating base's war camp?
Yeah, she's gonna go back to her tent. She has a little table set up there, and she does have some reports to finish up. She's got to stay diligent. It's not time for her to rest yet.
Okay.
She's gonna go back to her tent.
Sure. You start writing away. You tip-tap, put your quill in ink, and start scratching on
pieces of paper. You start writing out, glyph instructions for lance sergeants in different locations. You start giving out, you start writing reports on very specifically what had happened during the day. You unfortunately need to scribe to paper the admonishment of Gidavar, so that it is on record that he was chastised for his tactical mishap out in the field. And you start whiling away the time, falling into those routines of scratching ink on paper, as you've done many, many times before. And I think this will be a good time for you to roll we'll do a perception, please.
Okay. That's a 6.
A 6. Okay.
It's distracted.
You seem entirely lost in your work. It's been a few hours, nothing too terribly crazy. The sun has gone down. You are writing by sphere light. The radiance that comes out of these glass gem-filled spheres, illuminating the room in a cascade of colors that are truly of your choosing. Brilliant blue sapphires and emerald greens, and you're getting close to the end of the reports that you need to write for the evening, and it is a stark, skin-crawling shock when you hear the rustling of your tent cover from behind you.
And while she was writing, she had taken off her safe hand glove because her hand was cramping. It was a long day, so she's thinking she's totally alone. She hears that, and I'm gonna say, for a second, she considers screaming, but decides to assess it first.
Okay. You turn around, and standing in the shadow of the tent, silhouetted by the darkness outside and illuminated in a very, almost like a Kubrick-esque way in this threshold, is Gidavar. He's like, he's staring Feraniel down, looking at you through his eyebrows, a very deranged sort of look on his face. He sniffs. His hand is on the pommel of his side sword. He's still wearing his breastplate, the rest of his armor having been taken off. He's breathing a little bit heavy. You embarrassed me today.
Fira's going to rise carefully, turning to face him. If I've done something to offend, I hope I will correct it.
You're spitting in the face of tradition. You are looking down upon people who have trained their entire lives for the role that they sit in. I make one mistake, and suddenly I am the lesser of some junior logistician? What, because you got lucky? You pushed a couple of little Kremling pegs around on a piece of paper, and now suddenly you're the hero of the day? Where's the sweat on your brow? Where's the blood on your hands? You are nothing. And then as he's speaking, you hear that like slick, oiled, like shh of his blade coming out of the sheath. You are nothing but a pen pushing, lazy, entitled
hunk of creme, and I'm going to teach you what happens when a dark eyes works against a light eyes. And his blade is fully out of its sheath. What do you do?
In that moment, she goes from that initial feeling of fear when she almost screamed to kind of like a sense of clarity and taking in where he's standing, how he's holding his sword, where he is in the sense of the tent. And like in a moment, she knows like where his weight is, where he's keeping his balance, and her hand is going to move on instinct, and she's going to grab her side sword without even thinking it, and clear her own sword out of her sheath in one quick, smooth motion.
I have a good question, actually. Where do you hide your sword in your tent?
Sure. It is at the edge of her bed, underneath her coat. When she hangs up her coat, she hides it there, but when it's not there, it's just probably hidden under the bed. But since she's back in her tent, she just hung up her coat. It's right underneath.
In a sleek motion, you draw your sword as well, and he just whispers like poison under his breath, "Heretic. Blasphemer." And then with a raised blade, he rushes in and he just screams. He says, "You apostate." And I will ask for what is Fira's physical defense?
14.
A glancing strike, minimum damage, hits Fira. He rushes in, mostly off balance. The man is, as a woman who has studied swordplay, as someone who has a very distinct need to be more prepared than the average person, you see that he's using quite literally the most basic stance in the entire swordsmanship catalog of Alethi warfare. It is stone stance. It is the basic of basics. And you see it. In almost a moment, you think in your head that clarity, that laser line of focus, that intentional, knowledgeable tickle in the back of your head. Oh, you're better than him. And I would like you to make your attack.
Yeah. Okay.
Keep in mind, if you take a long turn, you will get 2.
Mm-hmm. All right. You might need to guide me through how to make an attack. This will be the first time I'm making an attack.
Oh, roll a d20 and then add your attack bonus for weapon.
Cool.
It's light weapon. This would be light weapon because it's your side sword, yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a 15.
A 15?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way that you're going to strike at his vitals in this moment. He's wearing a breastplate, but I will ask you to A, roll damage, and B, describe how you strike this man.
That's 5 damage, and she's going to use his... So he gets that one hit off on her. And now he's off balance and closer to her. So she's going to step inside his reach and use his momentum against him. And she wasn't going for vitals. She's going to strike his wrist first.
Okay.
So that's holding his sword.
Perfect.
Your blade smacks out. The whistle of the speed at which you are striking with hums through the air, and it's now that you feel the flat of your blade strike out and with a walloping, slapping impact, nail into his wrist. Would you like to spend a focus and immediately disarm this man?
Yes, definitely.
His sword clatters to the floor, and you have a chance. Would you like to sweep his leg, push him back out of the tent, send him tumbling outside of it? Would you like to... There's a few things that you can do here. You can move him away from you with a push. You can trip him and put him onto the ground of your tent, or you can simply smack him again.
So I'm seeing, I stepped into his space, hit his wrist. I'm kind of on the side, like side diagonal of him.
Yeah.
Can I step forward and kick at his knee so he falls to the ground?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That will be a focus and then another attack roll.
Okay. Would that be unarmed attack then?
That would be unarmed, yes.
Okay. 21.
Oof. Gidavar yelps, a sound not too distant from an axe hound that has been struck, as his blade clatters to the ground and your blade smacks into his wrist, perhaps bruising, spraining. And then you move even closer into his circle, a little bit past him, beyond the shadow of his impacts. Press your hand against his center of gravity, place your knee onto his and shove, and his leg buckles from the weight. You hear not a pop, but a bit of a strain come from the leathers that are covering his legs. His knee hits the ground, and he gives a confused and pained gasp, an exclamation as his back hits the ground and a bit of the air is driven out of him. And he starts to gasp, and he starts to kick his way out of the tent. He is pressing with legs to scramble outside of your circle of influence. He says, "You storming heretic, you horrid creature, you embarrass me further." And then he pushes himself a little bit out of the tent, and he lays on the ground.
Can I stop him?
Oh yeah, he lays on the ground, half hanging inside of your tent and out. What do you do to stop him?
I don't. Could I try and react before he got that far?
Oh my gosh, yeah, for sure. What do you do?
Yeah. If I see him turning towards to escape, I want to take my sword and see if I can cut him off, preferably like stop from where his head is going, and hold the sword at his neck.
In order to get him to completely stop moving, I will ask for an intimidation.
Okay.
And if I could get you to raise the stakes.
Yeah. 17 intimidation, and raise the stakes is going back to resources. That would be a 19 intimidation, but with a complication.
But with a complication? Okay.
Yeah.
Your complication is going to be very simple. Fira is not the greatest swordswoman to walk the entire planet, and thus your aim is not as clean as you wish as you go to lower the blade to his neck. You cut a fairly strong line into the flesh of his throat in a position that may or may not leave a scar in the future. But he stops. And it's not fatal, but he does give another gasp of pain as a line of blood starts to run down the length of the tip of your blade and into the dirt. There is a look of fear, abject, horrified panic painting Gidavar's face.
She's going to lean into that intimidation and say, "This is the only warning you will ever receive from me. You will not speak of this, and if you try, I will make certain that the only story that anyone ever hears is that you attacked a fifth dawn dark-eyed woman and lost. If you ever touch me again, I will make sure everyone knows how weak you are." And she's going to tighten that sword a little closer to him.
He tries to shrink into the dirt, to press himself even further, to seem even smaller in this moment, as your blade bites just ever so delicately more into the flesh of his neck. And he simply looks and says, "I'll never speak of it. Just let me live."
Gonna remove her blade from his neck and just say, "Leave now."
He scrambles to his feet, tripping over himself, landing again on his knees as he tumbles out of the tent, and you hear the pitter-patter of hobnailed footsteps on dirt and stone scraping out into the night. And you are once again alone in your tent.
Vera's gonna stand there for a moment. The realization of what just happened is going to hit her. She's gonna sit back on her cot. I think now is like the first time her hands start shaking, and when it does, I think she's gonna realize that whole time her safe hand glove was off, and like that trips her into a little bit of panic, like more so than she was already feeling. And she's going to grab her glove from wherever it flew off, or if it was still on the desk, and put it back on while her hands are shaking, and try to press it out, and just sit there in that moment of, geez, what have I done?
There is a circular, messy blood stain on the dirt, or on the stone. That is what your tent is pegged down into. There's, for the very first time, blood on your blade. The blood of someone that wanted to harm you. You defended yourself. And it was terrifying and exhilarating. A light-eyed officer came into your tent, and the only thing that he proved is that cultural privilege does not equal expertise or right. As you feel this adrenaline start to dump out of you, it's almost like you feel a bit stronger, a little bit more connected. There's a little bit more clarity. And you're not entirely sure what it is. And the thing that shakes you out of that reverie is a very sudden realization that during this combat, during this self-defense, this moment of peril, that it seems to be time to replace some of the spheres in your sphere lamps. It's a little bit dark in here, and you're very likely going to need to grab some infused spheres. And the only thing that you can think of is that you weren't quite done those last reports, and they need to be done whether or not your hands are shaking from adrenaline. So I feel like from there, that might be a good spot to zoom out from. Okay.
Yeah.
Well. We join again into the semi-distant past of one of our own. Alstrom, can I ask where exactly you are?
I'm on a fishing boat with some, like, extended family. Maybe some cousins.
Is this in Alethkar? Is this by Carbranth?
Oh,
is
this is in
Thalena?
Thalena, yeah.
Okay. Off of the coast of Thalen City, the, almost city-state island nation, from where Alstrom lives, you are within a sailing boat. One that has the catamaran-style nets on either side, a small below-deck portion for sleeping and eating and supplies. Your cousins are milling about on deck. This isn't your forte. You've been brought along for what purpose today?
Just the annual family, like, trip. We just do it every few months.
Perfect.
Oh, parents are like, go play with your cousins for the day. You gotta be with the family.
Perfect. As your cousins frolic about the boat, the adults, playing with the mainsail and adjusting rudder and laying down anchor in order to stay in a more shallow section, you start to notice something that has always fascinated you as someone that sort of revels in the phenomena of the world. You start to see the various spren that populate the waters. It's always sort of a plethora, whereas out on the nigh empty stone of the plains that are surrounding Thalen City, there may be only a few spren popping up here and there, or the different emotional spren of the people that wander those places. Here, out on the ocean, it is from the Riddens, Rain Spren, their little candle-like bodies topped with that little wavering eyeball. There are life spren that follow around the different schools of fish and crab-like creatures, the little chulls and such, and sky eels wefting and wending their way through the air as wind spren sort of frolic about them, and you are waiting. You've been waiting to see a very specific kind of spren out on these waters. You've heard rumors of them. They're a little bit, they're a little bit hard to come by, but you know that they exist. And what is that spren?
One of my other cousins told me about wave spren. That when they crash into each other, the little, like... He saw little creatures in the, like, splashes of the waves.
As you look out into the ocean, the waters crashing together, these gentle rolling waves. Can I get a perception?
Five.
A 5. You peer into the depths. You peer into the across the waves. You're looking into the sky. You're looking everywhere. And during one of those times that you are looking deeply into the water, it has calmed, seemingly dashing some of your hopes of seeing a wave spren. It's become, about an hour's gone by, and the wind has died down nigh completely, and the warm waters are now populated and only broken up by your cousins playing in the shallow. But you are looking down into the actual water yourself, and the glassy surface looks back at you, and as your reflection stares back, there is a crack in the surface, it seems, like cracking glass. The mirror-like sheen of the surface of the water has your face on it in one moment, and then it seems like in a flash there is a woman made entirely out of an inky blackness in the next. What were you looking for?
It's nothing. Something like the. What? Where did you come from?
I have come from something very complicated, but I can't fully answer that question right now. I'm more curious about you. What were you looking for?
A spren? My cousin told me about?
And what kind of spren did your good cousin tell you about?
like this little guy with 4 legs and these big round eyes, and they come out when 2 waves splash.
So
Have you seen them?
I have seen almost every spren that this world has to offer.
What's the coolest one you've ever seen?
I would say that the most interesting spren that I have ever seen in my life was my sister. She is large, like a great shell, and made of a amethyst-hued crystal. She fills the hearts of men and is truly a creature like none other.
Does that mean you're a spren?
What do you think I am?
What are you looking for?
I am looking for people like you.
You don't even know me. I don't think so.
I think that not knowing someone is truly the only starting point that a person can have, isn't it?
How can you look for something you don't know?
You are curious, and you are unafraid. You are fascinated with things that seem to be beyond you and yours. And most importantly, you don't fit.
Why are you following me? Where are you?
Well, I'm here, right before you, but I follow you because I like you. I think you're fascinating. I think you have a bright future. There aren't many men who are brilliant like you. You play with ideas of spren, capturing and using them. And you want to turn them into something different, right?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, come now.
You must mean my sister.
What's your name?
What's your name? You first. You knocked on my door.
No, you're right. I have gone by many names, as I have been alive for many years, but I am called Shah Anat.
And I would like to think that I am not unlike yourself.
You can call me Brindle.
Brindle. Well, Brindle, you live here, and your sister also stays with you. Have you ever thought about moving somewhere where you would have access to better materials and where you may make better change?
Why would I? No. What is that? How long have you been following me?
I've been watching you for a little while. I am interested in artifabrians. Scientists like yourself.
Trust me, I am not interesting. Far from it.
We can play this game all you want. That is fine. You will never build your flying device if you keep yourself away from centers of industry.
I want to reach into the water and splash away the image.
Okay. You reach into the water and you splash as much of it as you can, rippling the surface. And then you hear from behind you.
What?
In the glass of the living quarters door is the same face with that same crack running along it. Well, now that was just rude.
Rude is following me everywhere.
I couldn't talk to you until now.
Bram.
I have no reason to lie. To be blunt, I want things from you.
No, I can't just. Why would I expect a reflection in something to just tell the truth? Nothing about this is right.
You haven't run away.
Is there anyone around?
Your cousins are playing in the water. Your uncle is, adjusting the anchor. There's no one really around on this side of the boat. She very, very much chose an opportune time to speak to you when you were alone.
Mm-hmm. Can I turn the mirror, flip it around? You said it was a mirror?
No, it's the glass of the door.
Oh, the glass of the door. Is there something I could grab nearby to cover it, even if it's just a plank?
You can grab a piece of canvas, what have you. Absolutely.
Just leave me and my family alone.
There's a quiet. You know, I think that the men of this world are rather cowardly. They oppress and they run and they hide from truths about themselves. I very, very much wanted to have a civil conversation with you. You and your sister need to go to Kholinar. My sister, I'm sure, would be very pleased to meet you. There are things that are going to happen in the very near future, and the world is going to need the kind of change that you can bring. Hide from it all that you want. You'll either be a part of it or you'll be beneath it. Get on a boat and leave Alstrom.
Where's that voice coming from?
In your own head.
If you promise to leave me and my family alone. We're good.
I don't make promises I can't keep.
Neither do I.
You hear coming from the water one of your cousin's voice. Alstrom, get in the water! What are you doing, weirdo? You looking for waves, friend?
Yeah, I think I saw some. Okay.
I made it up,
yeah.
Kremhead. Get in the water.
Fine. Then I try to jump off the railing from the boat into the water.
You splash into the water. It's warm. It's pleasant. It's inviting. And
I think Alstrom plays a little extra hard with his cousins to like get what just happened out.
Yeah.
Of just trying to forget it.
Yeah, for sure. You feel as you're playing and having fun that this may just be one of the last times that you get to do this with your family. And there's a little bit of melancholy that overcomes you, and you see drifting in the water a few somber spren, a very rare occurrence. Little purple petals that sort of drift and then burst as they impact on the water.
Yeah, I think he realizes that even if he doesn't go to Kholinar, that he should probably leave, because being watched by something like that is freaking him out.
I would like you to make a history.
Is that lore?
Sorry, lore. Yeah, I'm so bad. Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna use my... Because this is when I'm younger, so I'm not gonna use what I have right now.
Sure.
I'm gonna use, like, half of it.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Still a 16.
Still a 16? Yeah, that drive definitely comes from knowing that there are,
stories of Voidbringers, of these shadowy creatures that have come from desolations before, of the Knights Radiant abandoning all hope and abandoning humanity at the behest of reasons unknown. This recreance being this mysterious circumstance, and you've heard tale of powerful creatures whispering in the ears of men. You've heard horrible shadow creatures coming to life and influencing the grander machinations of the nations of the world. It's usually brought about despair and destruction, and thus, yes, you do feel like if this wasn't a hallucination, there is something very dire going on in the world.
I wonder... Maybe I can talk to Alshir and my family. Maybe we can open up another shop somewhere else. We can have 2 locations. We can be a chain. Any reason to get out of here?
And as a little bit of a closing remark, it is not more than a month or 2 away from this date that Alstrom and Alshir decide that Kholinar is in the throes of conflict, that there might be people in need, that the war machine in Alethkar could use fabrials and span reeds and etc., that there will be a sort of, a grand necessity of artifabrians making goods and creating new inventions in order to help the royal family of Kholinar. The Kholin family do not shy away from such things, and heck, you've even heard rumors that the Shattered Plains is getting close to being a one theater of battle, and thus there's going to be an even greater push, and you just pile reason upon reason upon reason to travel to Kholinar, and it is not terribly long after that a property is purchased. Goods are procured. A ship is chartered, and you are on your way to Kholinar, the capital of Alethkar, away from your home, away from your family, off to try to find out exactly why this creature spoke to you. I feel like that is a pretty good place to zoom out. Folks, that's where we're going to take our human break. It is about that time. Hi, we're Another World Tabletop. We're telling Cosmere stories tonight. It's interlude time, baby. We're telling all these stories, and we're walking into the past of our characters. And I got to ask you a request from the bottom of my heart, and this cat that is on my desk. Tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your sister, tell your brother, tell your neighbor, tell your local congressperson, your grocery clerk, tell your mail delivery person, tell the local dog walkers, tell your local branch of the Shriners that Another World Tabletop is live right now telling Cosmere stories, but most importantly of all of those things, please tell your dog that we love them. And yeah, follow us along on all of our social medias where you can stay up to date with things like character art, things like new story launches, things like, hop in the Discord and catch hot memes and all of our updates first, and talk to the cast and say hello and see what's going on our day-to-day. We'll be back in a tight 10 minutes, and we will see you then. Grab some water, stay hydrated. Love you, bye. Mwah. Welcome back, everybody.
Did you tell your dog that we love them? I sure hope so. Or cat, lizard, fish, whatever you got. So, after that encounter, we have a bit of a zoom out from the national scale or international scale, and we are bringing it back to Kholinar. The streets of the Palace District. We are going to place ourselves on a rooftop just adjacent a noble apartment. A little complex, a sort of hacienda that's been chopped up into different octants that different nobles live within. Now, Nev, my question is, how long have you been scoping out this location? What kind of information have you gathered?
I'd say I've scoped out this particular location for a couple of weeks, essentially ensuring that, you know, typical daily patterns of guards, servants, etc. are matching up to what I have observed in the past, and what I was able to get from the network members who were doing a lot of the footwork for me previously. Essentially, I have gathered information on what the rough layout of the home is, and what kind of defenses to expect prior to breaking in.
So, this has fallen into your lap. Gems like this specific job, they come across every so often. Light eyes that have gotten too complacent, that don't treat their property with any real amount of respect. They leave pretty grand sums of valued assets unguarded for long periods of time. You know, very fragile locks being put on sphere cages. Doors that are just single lock affairs, nothing too terribly intense there, and you know, long periods of time where there's just no guards whatsoever, whether it be, you know, a labor dispute or they've sent the guards away to have an affair with some other individual, you know, behind their wives' back, or vice versa. Leaving no one really but the dark-eyed maids to take over the day-to-day of the household. And it seems like this is specifically that. This little 2-story apartment that is in the Palace District has all of the hallmarks of that sort of milk run job. The doors, easy enough to bust into. You see no guards whatsoever. And you have, however, in just the days prior to this one, seen behind windows maids flitting about, or at least one. And you saw just hours before, you know, an unnamed light-eyed gentleman leave the household, and if the patterns can be trusted, he's not going to be back for a couple of hours, maybe a day. This is just a little landing pad for him.
Yeah, he seems the type to rent a space just to keep his stuff there while he's in town and isn't really staying there.
Yeah.
So the perfect opportunity for me to swoop in and take his belongings. So I am going from sphere lamp to sphere lamp, taking the spheres, putting them in the bag. Done, lit, doesn't matter. I'm taking it all. Anything that isn't nailed down that looks of value to me, I'm stealing it. Particularly looking for money, jewelry, anything that looks even remotely valuable. Even if it's clothing that looks particularly nice, I'm taking all of it. Obviously, items that are within a certain like value range, something I can sell, something I could use, something I could, get a pretty penny for. And I am clearing rooms, breaking locks. Not breaking the locks. I am breaking into the locks. I'm using a lockpick. I'm not brute forcing anything. I'm leaving as little evidence as possible that anyone was here at all. The goal is to make it look like these things have simply disappeared and nobody is any wiser or damage done otherwise. As I move from room to room.
Yeah, you start collecting small bundles of spheres. A few of them do definitely seem to be done, as if this place has been neglected to a certain extent. You collect a small collection of jewelry. You come across a cabinet that has some drawers in the bottom of it that you start ripping open and ripping through, and you see correspondence between the owner of this building and what appears to be a mistress. You catch a few missives between the individual that owns this place and porters that will deliver X, Y, and Z. You've seen like foodstuffs. You've seen, just you catch a lot of the rigmarole, and you're snagging valuables. You're making note of things. You're doing that typical sneak thief routine of like, oh, even if it seems not valuable, you're marking things like, oh, he's here these days, and he's there these days, and he knows these people, and yada yada yada. And you start marking like very obvious hallmarks of what this man might be like in his day to day. And you come across a singular door that is far more secure than the others. It seems to be the door to a bedchamber. It has a few extra locks on it, and it is made out of a reinforced wood.
Okay.
So I will ask for a thievery.
Okay. This wouldn't fall under my expertise.
I think, oh, you know what? Yes, but the complexity of this means that you'll be rolling this with advantage.
With advantage? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, the first one is an 18 total. The second one... Oops, that's cocked. Oh, shit, is a natural 20 plus 5, 25.
There's really been seldom there's locks that stray outside of the mundane within Kholinar that may give you a little bit of frustration. Things that have like the trap, like those trap catches, things like that, where the teeth of the key or the rasp is meant to get caught, etc., etc. But this isn't one of those. This is just a collection of locks that may have caused you a little bit of trouble. And you open up the door, and you see what can really only be described as a scene of horror. There is a broken and bloodied corpse on the floor of the bedroom. They are wearing the apparel of a maid. It is a dark-eyed woman. Bruising and inflammation all about the face and along the arms. This person was beaten rather savagely before their untimely death.
I think the first thing Nev looks for, even though they're shocked, do I recognize this person? Like, are they somebody I know or I've seen?
You look for things, hallmarks of an individual.
Is their face recognizable enough for me to even tell?
It's hard, but Nev
Okay.
you start looking for recognizable features, birthmarks, tattoos, missing fingers. You look for clothing. You look for recognizable jewelry. You're looking for hair. All of those different kinds of things, and you take a little bit of time looking across the body. And can I get a discipline roll?
Discipline from the undisciplined. That's another nat 20, 22.
It is a cold fury that washes over Navali as you recognize that this person is someone that you've known for years. They were a rather well-known figure in the theater district. They were a patron of many of the drinking establishments. They ran a maid service. They were a first non.
Oh,
They were a business owner.
way higher up than me. Okay.
They were allowed to own and operate a business here in Kholinar. They were a patron for many within the theater district, and you knew her to be very kindly, specifically to some of the children that you have taken in the cell. This was a good woman. You know beyond a shadow of a doubt that this was an individual that did not deserve this fate.
I think it hits Nev even harder the second recognition registers. Not that Nev has never seen a dead body before, but it's usually not like this. I think kind of swallowing down the rage and the bile in my throat, given how horrendous this is. I'm going to very quickly sweep the room because I still have a job to finish.
You sweep for possessions, valuables, and it's very obvious that this room was given a very specific type of care. There are tapestries hanging from the walls in order to muffle noise. There are extra locks on the door to ensure no one escapes. This is a very carefully crafted room that is designed for, it would seem, really like one thing. And that is to dispatch people.
I think when I find that there's no valuables in here, it's not a bedroom. After all, I'm going to trace my steps back out to the balcony that I broke in on, where I have a member of the cell waiting.
Who do you have waiting for you?
I would say that it is. We're gonna say it's Dervin.
It's Dervin? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So at this point in time, Dervin is maybe 11.
Yeah.
This is a few years back.
Certainly a preteen at this point, yes.
Yeah. So in current day, he's 14. But at this time, he's probably like around 11.
Yeah, okay. That makes sense.
And I'm gonna look to Dervin and say, I found a body in there. Go get help.
Dervin immediately stops doing the little happy dance that they were doing at seeing you coming out unscathed with a bag of swag. And they're like, help? Who help? Who am I getting to help? Who do I go to?
Like,
who do I go to? Who do I go to for help for this one?
I don't know.
Who do we know? We can't go to the guards. They're gonna think you did it. They're gonna think I did it.
I'm gonna rack my brain. Hold on, Derv. Hold on. That detective, the one in Little Herdaz. I know. We've scammed him before. I know. But like, he doesn't know it was us. So,
the drinker.
I've heard that, you know, for Light Eyes, he might have some kind of moral conscience. So maybe he'll help us.
You're asking me to go and get a light-eyed detective?
You sure don't live like a Light Eyes, so maybe there's reason to talk to him.
You see this like look of like confusion, panic, worry, sorrow, all like wash over Dervin's face. Okay. What's his name?
Starts with a B. Herdazian guy, smells kind of funny. Berdalar, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll find him. Little Herdaz. I'm heading to Little Herdaz to find a smelly, drunk Light Eyes that will help us find the thing in the stuff, because he knows Light Eyes, right? He knows Light Eyes.
Listen. Derv. It's really important that we do this right, because it's someone we know.
What do you mean? What do you mean? Who do we know?
It's Lenley.
What?
Yeah. I think maybe the Bright Lord here likes to do what Bright Lords do to their servants.
But she used to give me chill cakes and clean water, and I used to be able to head there for snacks and treats and stuff. She was always so sweet to me. What?
I'm gonna put my hands on his shoulders. I'm really sorry, buddy, but I want to make sure that somebody does something for her. And it can't be us. Do you understand? We can't explain why we're here, Dervin. We can't explain why we found this, why I found this.
Okay.
We have to take care of our own, and we can't go to the guards.
Yeah. Okay.
And if he tells you to fuck off, fine.
If he tells me to go storm myself, I'm going to punch him.
He'd probably be drunk enough that you could hit him too. Just go. Be as quick as you can, okay?
Yeah. Dervin, dashes off, starts to run. You see tears starting to stream down their face as they sprint off. And I feel like we can zoom out from there.
Mm-hmm.
Bertalar.
Hi.
Where do we find you on this fine day?
Yeah, so Bertalar is just walking out of Shard Swap, which is a sphere exchange, but it's actually the front for Rave's criminal business. Bear walks out. Bear is just walking out now after being away from home for like probably about 5 days between multiple different jobs, both for the guard as well as for Rave, as well as for some like personal pet projects. Shout out to the Sons of Honor. He's finally on his way home after days. Exhausted, bags under his eyes, has probably slept 10 hours in like this week total, maybe.
You're walking about maybe a city block or so away from your actual home. You can smell the chowder wrap being cooked. You can hear the sounds of little cousins playing in the background. You can all but feel the heat of the steaming bath that is waiting for you once you hit the door. And you're walking, trudging.
Yeah.
And then you feel a stone plink you in the back of the head.
Okay. That's rude.
And then another.
And turns around.
You see, standing on a collection of boxes, just scrambling down from the rooftop adjacent, is a grubby-looking child, no older than 11 or 12 years old, with a little pile of pebbles in its in their hand, a little dagger on their hip, boots that are too big for their feet, and a grubby tunic. They stare you down.
Hey, Nako. Why are you throwing rocks at me?
You are that guy.
What?
You're that guy. What do you smell like?
Gives himself a sniff. I don't know, kind of like a back alley mixed with a tavern, mixed with, I don't know, maybe a little sweat and some blood. Yeah,
pissy and boozy, hey?
Okay, were you old enough to know that?
I know what piss is, mister.
Okay, but, what, are you real? Am I hallucinating?
Yeah, I'm real.
Why is there an angry child throwing rocks at me?
Because I need you to solve a murder.
And Bertalar is so torn. He's so torn. He turns and looks back at his house. Could I just maybe...
My friend is dead.
Okay, what is your name?
My name is Fitzy.
Okay, Fitzy. Your clearly real name. That's all I need. Where am I going? Is the crime scene fresh, or am I going to have to work through some,
The body's still there.
Oh.
That's what I was told. My best friend told me that our friend was killed by a Light Eyes, and you're a Light Eyes. That means you'll know why they did it. And I bet it's going to be because you suck.
No, I suck, but not because of my eyes. I suck all on my own, thank you.
You ever killed someone? Huh? Huh? Are you a killer?
It's a difficult question to ask somebody.
No, it's yes or no.
Wouldn't a killer just lie to you?
That'd make you double suck. Double suck, man.
No, you suck.
You suck.
You threw rocks at my head. That makes you suck.
Yeah, well, you threw metaphorical rocks at my people.
No, I didn't.
By being
I
sucky.
didn't throw any metaphorical rocks. No, I didn't.
Doubt it. Prove it.
No, prove it. How?
Prove it how? By solving the murder of my friend.
And if I solve the murder of your friend, you'll tell me I don't double suck, that I'm actually 0 suck, or like -1 suck?
Absolutely not. I won't go tell everyone in the theater district that Bertilar, the really crappy detective, smells like piss. I won't tell anyone
They
that.
already know. They already know I smell like piss. No, if you want me to do this, you're gonna have to. You know what? It just got worse.
Give me a... Finish what you said.
It just got worse. Because of that, you're gonna have to go around and tell everyone that I don't suck. Yeah. How about that?
What, and they're going to believe a kid?
Not gonna believe me.
Why would they? Can I get a persuasion?
Yeah.
You need to beat an 8.
14.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. I'll tell everyone I know that the stinky detective doesn't suck.
Normally I charge more than that, but I'll take it. Yeah. Where am I going?
What, are you going to charge a kid for the death of his friend? Sucky man?
I'm not gonna charge you for the death of your friend, but I might charge you for solving it. Yeah.
Well, I don't have any money, so you're going to do this out of the kindness of your heart.
Obviously, you have no money.
Yeah? Yeah? You picking on me because I'm poor now? Yeah, you do suck.
You picked on me because I'm stinky.
I can't do anything about oppression, but you can take a bath.
Okay. Where am I going? Fitzy.
You're going to go to the Palace Ward, and you're going to head to Light Eye's apartment, and you're going to... It's the one that's in the weird 8-section hacienda place. That's the one. That's the place that you're going. I don't know the name of the street. I can't read.
I can't read.
Then the description should be good enough.
No, I don't know what we're talking. You're gonna have to take me there.
Oh my gosh. You're a detective. It's your... Follow me. Follow me. And Dervin
does so. Like a zombie.
Bear sprints as fast as his little legs will take him, making sure that you keep up.
Bertilar does what he's been doing for the past 3 days, slams some ridge bark in his mouth, gives it, and tears off after him.
Okay. It's a short period of time later that you arrive in the theater district, or the palace district, just outside, and you find this octagon of a apartment complex. And the kid climbs up onto a rooftop, expecting you to follow, then points over at the apartment. That one. It's that one.
Okay. Thank you, Fitzy.
What's your name?
And
My name is Fitzy.
No, it's not. That's my name.
No, it's not.
Yeah, well, I'm allowed to lie.
My name is Bertilar, of House Jura.
Big Bear the Stinky. Got it. Perfect. Okay. Go to your
Bear
job.
sits there for a minute and just genuinely considers if it's immoral to hit a kid if he's being this much of an ass, and decides yes, it is still immoral. Okay. And then I guess proceeds to break into this lighthouse apartment. He'll go in through. He'll go. Are the windows like get slat windows, right? I assume.
100%, yeah. Windows that are very specifically the windows that are facing to the east, where the high storms come in, reinforced. This is a light eyes apartment, so these are there's like metal grates that'll go over any sort of windows. And on the other side, heavy duty wooden slats that come slamming down during storms, et cetera, et cetera.
He'll go leeward side, and he feels like time is of the essence, so he's just going to bust out a crowbar and pop out a couple pieces of this window so he can fit through.
Now, there's a big difference between Berdalar and Navali when it comes to where the eyes go when you enter into an apartment for what you would describe as a job. You start looking at, is there eaten food? Is there any footwear to speak of? Are there any missives and mail waiting for the individual? And it seems as if this place has been completely cleaned out as far as a living space is concerned. There's no non-perishable food on the shelves. There's no perishable food on the shelves. There's no daily footwear. You're looking for like casual coats and clothing. Those are completely missing. And even more telling is a lot of the accoutrements that would go along with a light eye's existence. Things like sphere purses and fine scents and like toiletries and those sorts of things are also missing. You're looking for all of the day-to-day things, and they're all missing. But can I get a lore?
Sure. 12.
A 12? This is Bright Lord Valarin's. You were fairly certain that there wasn't a single tangible piece of evidence of who lived in this location before. A lot of unnamed missives. A lot of notation of Bright Lord this, Bright Lord that, with no names attached to. But you notice the same note that Nev did as you let the cat into the apartment.
And if it was a note written for another Bright Lord, I assume it's in glyphs that I can actually read?
It's absolutely in glyphs, yeah. Because it is meant for a man to read. And it is a set of very simple instructions that are for the Bright Lord to meet a mistress. And it uses a pseudonym, which is Darklight. And yes, that's why you know that this must be Bright Lord Valarin. Bright Lord Valarin has gone by the name Darklight in, the seedier circles of the city for a long time. In fact, the reason why you know specifically is because you've gambled with Bright Lord Valarin before under that pseudonym.
I think Berdalar, he definitely scratches his chin, really thinks about it, if this place is as clean as it is, it makes no sense for Valarin's name to be here. Even his other name, like it doesn't he's too smart even for that. I mean, he's not a genius, but like he's not an idiot, and this is the work of an idiot. Is there an address for where he's supposed to meet the mistress?
There is an address, and there is a time, and that is 30 days from this specific point. And the address is for a brothel, a more private affair. And eventually, you reach the room where the murder happened. It's been maybe an hour or two. The kid said that there was a body. The body is gone. Bloodstains all but scrubbed. Evidence removed. But you are an investigator, a detective. And it isn't bloodstains that you look for. It's not a body. You look for small things. A piece of hair. Signs of a struggle. And you find all the hallmarks. This kid was telling the truth. There's nail gouges in the wood. There is a little bit of impact that you can see in the frame of the door. And you find a tattered piece of cloth and a hunk of hair that is hanging from the bed.
What color's the hair?
Brunette. It's darker hair.
Wow. If there's nothing else for me to glean here, but definitely signs of a struggle. Is there any sign like sign as to which cleaner it might have been? You know, like is there a smell of a certain solvent? Is there anything like that?
Yeah, you start like literally sniffing around, looking for like
smelling
bleaching
the floor where
or,
the blood would have been. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. You sniff and smell and prod and push. You run your hands along, you scratch at it, and I'll ask for an investigation.
Deduction?
Deduction, sorry. This is very much a deduction.
Not good. 13.
13. You say that's not good, but you are
not like, good for me. Not good for Bear to Water,
right? Like that isn't. That is not so bad. It isn't Nev's back-to-back natural 20s, but that's 1 in 400. So
hey, we can't all be
Nev. It's the truth. So, but you've worked with cleaners and chemicals for so long. You've seen crime scenes cleaned up before. You've also, contrary to what most people would believe, you're actually a fairly clean fellow most of the time, unless you're 4 days into a job. And you understand the astringents and the bleaching chemicals that are used throughout the nation of Alethkar. You're very well versed in these things. There is not a single trace of a cleaner used. But there is a very strange phenomenon in the wood. There is a raised section of the wood that is in the rough shape of a liquid, perhaps 1/32 to 1/16 of an inch bit of raised wood, and it clicks. Someone soul cast this blood into wood.
Bear is instantly terrified. The fact that whoever this is has the money to hire someone who has a soulcaster, or B, has their own soulcaster is terrifying.
It's so deeply unsettling to go to this kind of length to cover it up. And what's even worse is that you know that it is nigh on unheard of that someone can soulcast blood. You look around the room. You're searching for more. And an unfortunate reality does settle upon you that you've very likely stumbled into something that runs very, very deep to the core of Kholinar.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Dark-eyed individuals of high and low non disappear all the time. A lot of the times it is without a trace. It's assumed that holes are dug out in, the wastes outside of Kholinar. But it's odd that a body disappears so quickly. This is premeditated. This was planned. You have what you can really only believe is a serial killer on your hands, and one with intensely deep pockets.
Yeah. Well, from here, I guess I will hire someone to stake out this house and probably make some frequent visits to a brothel over the next month to see if I can dig anything up.
Okay. So, my question is to Nev. Nev, at what point do you hunt down Berdalar for answers?
Probably within the 10-day.
That would make sense. Berdalar, I think it's safe to say, Berdalar, you are you're sitting in an apartment complex, a building over from the brothel. A friend of a friend has been paid off in order to use, the room of that apartment in order to scope out the brothel, keep watch, etc. You've pulled the normal strings that you usually do, a little bit of currency changing hands, spheres exchanged, and then, favors asked. And it's on one of these nights that you are just hawk watching this brothel that you are interrupted by a femme wrapped in light leather armor, a scarf pulled up above the face, crawling through the window.
Window I'm currently watching out of, or a different window?
I don't know, Nev. Which window?
I mean, If he sees me, well, okay, hold on, wait.
Sure.
What floor is this place on?
Second floor.
So that's like the highest floor of that building.
Yeah, for sure.
I think instead of that, I'm up on the roof because I know where he is, and
Sure.
I just kind of like Spider-Man style, like peek down, like upside down.
Through the window, peeking upside down at him. Okay, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Straight laser
And then I realize
down.
he's sitting. Then I realize he's sitting like right there.
I do not see them. I am straight at the brothel. I am so hyper focused. Again, pulling 18-hour days, just watching this brothel.
I assume there's a balcony here, like a little one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop down to it.
So, are you gonna kill me?
If I was going to kill you, you'd already be dead.
You know, I have heard that before, and it did not work.
Well, you were so intensely focused on the building across the way there, I easily could have done it at least 3 times.
Leans over Nev's shoulder to continue looking at the brothel.
Yeah, no, I'm working.
I like shoulder check him. Did you find anything?
I don't know who you are. Please go away.
You don't need to know who I am. Did you find anything about that dark-eyed woman who was killed?
Brenda
Don't know
Fitz,
me,
huh?
But I know you, Bertalar.
That's ominous.
Your name is all over the streets here. Apparently, you're one of the good ones. Is that true? Or did you forget about her just like everybody else?
If you must know, that's why I've been here for the past 10 days. Watching this building. I've been doing it for fun. Though, to be fair, some of the people who come out of here, this has been, a rather good time.
Nev looks like she doesn't get it, but doesn't say anything. Okay.
Sit down.
I will clamber into the building now that I've been invited.
Okay, and don't make a mess, okay? This is the house of Tav, or Kem, or somebody.
Okay.
It's not my house, is what I'm saying. Don't make a mess.
There's just a pile of empty mugs of various liquors just sitting on the table.
Nev looks very
it's a mess.
pointedly at the mess you have already made. I don't think I can make it much worse. Unless you intend on fighting me, which is not on my agenda.
Oh, I don't fight.
Yeah, you don't look like it.
Okay.
I'm Nev. I'm the one who found the body.
I figured that out. I am a detective.
Wow, you really are a detective. Let me help you. I can go places you can't.
That's not true.
In this moment, I would like to, I don't know, take some, maybe I would like to have taken something from him in the very brief scuffle that we had when I shoulder checked him. Can I roll thievery?
I would say thievery versus perception.
Oh boy. 21.
Okay, this isn't as good. This is... Nope, only a 16.
Now the question is, does Bertalar stop Nev?
Nope.
Okay.
And this was when I shoulder checked you. And now
Yeah.
I'm pulling out the thing I took, which is probably like, I don't know, a snack you had in your jacket pocket or something.
Oh, yeah, always snacks. Always packing
Yep.
snacks.
Just holds out the snacks. I can go places you can't, and I will put it down on the table amidst the mess.
You know it's rude to steal somebody's nuts.
Well, don't be such an easy mark then.
Sure. Look, I appreciate that you want to do the right thing, or whatever, or why ever you're doing this. I don't particularly care. How old are you? What, 16?
I'm older than
Okay, regardless, I'm not going to let you get caught up in whatever this is, okay?
Excuse me, Bright Lord, but I have been living on the streets here in Kholinar for years. If you can imagine it, I've probably dealt with it at some point or another. My kind of work, and I will like kind of open up my cloak a little bit, and he'll see daggers, all the daggers. I'm not a little girl. I'm not a child. The kind of work I do isn't for the faint of heart, just like yours. Mine might be a little less lawful than yours, though. So I'm gonna say again. I'm not going to ask, actually. I'm just going to say it. You are going to let me help you figure out what happened to Lenley. She was a good woman. She helped a lot of people in the theater district.
I know.
Which I assume is why you're even bothering with all this. I gestured to the room.
I looked into her already.
She was good at what she did. There would have been no reason for some Bright Lord bastard to kill a woman like that.
Okay. You are not going to be effective in this investigation unless you can get your emotions under control. Bright Lord this, Bright Lord that, storming. You want to do what I do? Get your head on straight first.
I don't want to do your job. I want to stop this from happening to anyone else, any more of us.
So do I, and if you screw this up for me, more people will die because of it. And I don't care what color their eyes are, they'll be dead.
You wouldn't even know about this if it wasn't for me.
No, I wouldn't, and thank you for putting me onto it. I appreciate it, but I refuse to let you screw it up. If you want to work on this, I'm telling you, you can. I will help you. I will do this with you, but you have to listen to me. Please.
Fine.
Okay. Do you know, I'm sure you don't, do you know the name Valoran?
Do I know that name?
You are entirely unfamiliar.
Not sure.
Storms. I was really hoping you could keep watch while I got some sleep. That's okay. For now, why don't you just watch the brothel with me? We're looking for a bright lord named Valarin. It's the only lead I have. Or if you happen to see any, I don't want to say dark-eyed women, because I'm not sure, but it is a guess. If you see any dark-eyed women leaving with a bright lord, they look a little too comfortable. And I think you understand what that means. Just let me know.
All right.
This is the part where we sit still.
Nev posts up next to the window, does not sit, stands leaning against the wall, watching. I know how to keep watch. Prefer to do
Sure.
it closer, but this is fine.
Do what you want.
She waits until he falls asleep, and she's gonna go down to the...
Like 5 minutes.
Yep, like waits until she hears snoring, and then quietly slips out of the window down to the brothel. We don't have to narrate Nev going down there, just for flavor. That's what she's doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you want me to do what you want? Sure thing, until you fall asleep.
It's not a terrible amount of time before, unfortunately, it isn't Berdalar that notices, but Navali that notices whether their name is Valarin or not, a very well-to-do, light-eyed gentleman coming out of the private room and wandering away. It's a little unsettling. No one saw him come in. There was no entrance. He just walked out. And it's a bit of a shock. You're muted.
What does he look like?
5'10", slight frame, a well-manicured set of brunette facial hair that is streaked with red, a hawkish nose, high cheekbones. He is the poster child for an interbred noble within Kholinar. You catch it in a moment. An Alethi parent had a child with Unkalaki and had him, and you get all of the details. His dress robes are gilded. His wrists are covered in precious metals. Several of his rings contain gems that are infused, causing him to literally glow. Almost a signal for people to watch him as he struts around the street.
I'm going to try my best to commit him to memory as well as I can.
Mm-hmm.
So I can at least attempt to, like, sketch him, but Nev is not an artist.
Right.
I'm going to slip back in to the... I'll follow him for a bit, just enough to get, like, the details of what he looks like and what direction he's moving. And I'll go back up the building from the opposite side of where the apartment is and slip back down, assuming Bear is still asleep. And I will quickly sketch what I saw, or as close as I can get.
Yeah, it's not a very hard thing. There's some big, broad details of this guy that you'll be able to nail. Has very distinct features. The red-streaked brunette hair, the manicured facial hair, the you have a good, you catch like the big bangles that are on his wrists, the glowing rings, etc., the gilded robes. If you don't catch the exact angle of the hawk-like nose, if you don't catch the exact hue of his eyes, I mean, Bear's a detective. He should be able to suss out certain things. So, as you finish,
you do, if I may, feel a presence over your shoulder as you finish. Who is she drawing, Story Dad?
That's Bright Lord Valarin.
Why are you drawing a picture of Valarin?
He left the brothel but didn't go in.
What do you mean?
He left the brothel, but no one saw him walk in. I didn't see him walk in.
Let's go.
And Bertalar fully grabs Nev by the shoulder and jumps out the window. Fully jumps out the window and parkours down the building full tilt towards the
Nev
brothel.
Easily is in on the chase.
Yeah.
Parkour.
So, suffice to say that you're both chasing after the Bright Lord.
No, I'm going into the brothel.
You're going into the brothel? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Full tilt.
You bust into the door of the private room that Bright Lord Valarin had just come out of. Perhaps 30 minutes prior. And you see a woman and a man in flagrante delicto, I believe is the proper term.
That was like storms.
In complete disarray, they cover themselves in blankets. The woman screams. The man shouts at you, Bertalar, "Get out! What are you? Get out of here! Who are you?"
Bertalar hits them with a full.
Where is she?
Who is she? She is beneath me.
Bright Lord Valarin came out of this room. Were you here when he did?
The man looks confused. The woman timidly looks up over the covers and says, "Well, he wasn't here long, but yes, he was here."
With you?
With me, yes.
Okay, great.
Bear fully grabs this dude. Light eyes, dark eyes?
Light eyes, but...
Yeah. He grabs the dude,
Yeah.
fully buck-ass naked.
And he's
pulls
just
him
like, "Do you
up
know who I
off
am?
the-
How dare you?"
Do you know who I am? Do you know who I am? Do you know who I... Shut... The storm's up. Do you even know what you sound like? You are such an entitled prick. Do you know who I am?
He stands before you with your hands on his shoulders and in likely the most shamed and flaccid way possible, he says, "Storms, I know exactly who you are. This isn't a crime."
No, it's not. but unless you'd like me looking into, all of the nitty-gritty little details, Bright Lord, and does Bearlar know this guy?
You can act like you know this guy. Some middling light eyes, some like low dawn, like 8th, 9th dawn, whatever. He's like, just let me grab my coat.
I suggest you hurry, unless you'd like your family to find out what you've been doing here.
Nobody needs to know. Nobody needs to, I have money. And then he puts his coat on and he shoves a bag of spheres in your hand. He's like, keep your mouth shut.
Go.
And then he turns around and storms off.
Tosses the bag of spheres to Nev.
Nev is very pointedly looking at the ceiling this entire time. I need to make clear.
The woman on the bed says, Those are
takes
mine.
some of the spheres out of Nev's bag and gives them to her.
I'm terribly sorry for infringing on your business. But I'd like to ask you a few questions, if I might.
Am I allowed to get clothes on?
Storms! Oh, jeez.
And Bearlar has just now realized, it has just registered for him that this woman is naked. He has been so... pinpoint on solving this case that he's like,
oh, you are naked. Oh, Storms, I am so sorry. I don't even.
and just bright red and walks into the corner of the room, like when you put a kid in timeout and just stares at the corner.
The woman stands and starts putting on some articles of clothing and is like, you kicked in the door of a brothel and you expected a bunch of fully clothed ardents? Prudes. And
to
then...
be honest, I was expecting a body.
I'm not a prude, I'm just trying to be polite, ma'am.
Uh-huh. She takes a seat, and then she packs some incense into a pipe, leans back in a chair, lights it. Okay. What about Valarin do you want to know?
We have reason to suspect that he's committed a murder.
Valarin?
Possibly, yeah.
I doubt that, but I don't really socialize with him outside of these sorts of circumstances, so I suppose anything could be possible. What do you need to know from me, and how much am I getting paid in order to learn it?
First of all, can I ask you your name?
No.
Okay.
Pulls out 3 marks.
What is your name?
My name is Tourmaline.
Okay, Tourmaline. Do you ever engage with Valarin outside of this room? No house calls?
Well, I mean, sometimes there's an apartment, and then it's the kitchen or the bedchambers or what have you. There's different settings, I guess.
Where's the apartment?
Somewhere in the Palace District. I don't know the street names. I'm not there that often.
Are you the only one he takes there?
Is it the ones that are split up?
Yeah, they're in that strange shape. It's all odd architecture, like it was made by soulcasters. I think I'm the only one, but I couldn't tell you. And I see a bunch of faces going in and out of that place. He's always got different maids, and he's always getting different staff, and he seems to never be satisfied. It's very light eyes. And the turnover rate for people that... I think I'm the only static thing in his life, and that's because I'm kind of the best at what I do.
Okay. Do you know when he got his last new maid?
A few weeks ago? I guess.
And has he Did he mention getting a new one anytime soon? Anything like that?
Yeah, he said something about needing to fire her, not a good enough job. The same story he always says. Our pillow talk is usually him complaining about how ineffectual people are and how somebody should do something about it. I don't know.
He said that today.
No. Today he seemed in a rush, like he had somewhere to be.
Storms. Okay, thank you, Tourmaline.
Takes out another five marks and just like pours them.
We gotta go.
Yeah. Nev's gonna toss a little pouch her way. I might be back.
Okay, a very brief. Followed
Like if more
by
questions, if more questions come up.
very, very quick. Followed by sprinting through the streets.
What? We might have follow-up questions.
Yeah, for sure.
I have any
Right,
answers
that's
you
what I thought.
need. And then
I bet you do.
you two start chasing down the trail of this man. He hasn't been gone long enough for this to be too terribly much of an issue. And eventually you come to another apartment in another higher end part of town near the Devotary.
How many apartments does he have?
Don't know.
For brevity's sake,
Fast forward.
the two of you work in tandem, staking the place out quickly, realizing that something is amiss. Once again, there is no staff. Once again, the locks are too simple, besides one singular room. And one more time, you find that you are too late. There is a body on the floor. The blood is pooling, and the problem this time is that it is still warm. But you know that a cleanup crew is coming. You know that this is a very dangerous individual. If they can soul cast blood into wood, there's nothing stopping the man that walks through those doors from doing the same to the stuff in your veins. You take stock. You collect evidence. And you recognize that there's a pattern. He moves from apartment to apartment, never using a place for too long. Always making sure that it's a staff member. Always ensuring that there is a cleanup imminent behind him. But there's moving parts. There's multiple people involved. There has to be a weak link. And as you two realize that, you have a few moments to talk about what you want to do about the situation.
I don't recognize this one, do I? Above table?
You don't recognize this one, but
There's another one.
but she matches the description of so many people that you do know. Hard worker, innocent.
Do I recognize her?
You do not recognize her. It is sort of the point of this entire affair that the people that he is mercilessly killing are entirely innocent, but also entirely invisible to the grander scope of society. He's looking for the unmentionables. He's looking for people that are of a lower strata. He is targeting people that cannot stand up for themselves and do not have the protections that a society like this would provide.
Nev is trying her hardest not to look particularly angry. She's trying to keep like a stone face about this because that's what you said was required in order to be part of this.
Berdelar grabs the side table and just fucking throws it at the wall. Like full force.
I think in reaction to that, Nev actually like jumps, which is not something she normally does. Okay, well, at least I'm not the only one who's storming angry about this.
Well, we know who it is for sure now.
Yeah. We're gonna see this through.
Yeah. Yeah, we are. I'm gonna take him in.
Many missing people in the last year because of this man.
I don't know.
We'll never know. And I think she's gonna, like, obviously since they can't be here for very long, she's gonna walk out onto the balcony that they broke in through. Let's go. We can't be here.
Yeah. Yeah, let's go.
I feel like right there is a good place to zoom out. Folks, that's us for the night. Thank you for tuning in for this interlude, for this little jaunt into the past, to catch a window into our characters' shaping moments. These very distinct and precious times that helped craft who they are now, how they came together. It's been our joy to bring specifically the Cosmere to you all. This wonderful world of Roshar that Brandon Sanderson brought to us. It's been a joy to help bring this place into a more real light for us. And if you're here from a raid, consider following. If you're here from our community and you haven't already joined, please follow us along on Instagram and on YouTube, etc., etc. All of the prior episodes are live now, so that you can catch up with this wonderful story. This has been Another World Tabletop. I'm Story Dad. I'm steering this ship. That's me. And we're gonna raid. Folks. Captain Robert is live, like actually live right now. So we're you wanna get back to some good old fashioned Dungeons and Dragons. Robert's the guy. He's kind of like the guy when it comes to constantly running D&D. So please, go and catch his channel. Watch what he's got going on, and give that Another World Tabletop love to old Robert. We will catch you on Saturday for the next episode of Sanguine Dominion, and we'll see you next Tuesday for the next present day episode of The Last Ideal. This has been us. We'll catch you on the flip flop. Have a good night. Tell your pets we love them. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. In 10 seconds, because I hit the raid button before. Shill some more. Play Cosmere RPG. Shout out Brotherwise Games. We'll catch you on the flip-flop. Okay, bye!